Hey, it's Frank from 4D Honeybee, and I haven't done a video for a while, but I'm going to do a quick video today. It's December the 28th, and we're having a warm spell today. It's 8 degrees Celsius, which is 64 Fahrenheit, so it's time to feed these bees. I checked it out. I've gone into winter with 3 hives, and the 2 doubles that you see there, we're doing pretty well going in. So that one had plenty of stores. This one had plenty of stores. The one in the middle wasn't doing as well, and I fed it with about 10 pounds of fondant. I came and checked these guys out last week, and this hive was doing pretty well. It had bees right at the entrance and down in the lower box, and lots of them. Same with this hive, although there only is 1 box for them. This hive, though, which was the strongest going in, was looking very weak. They were already in the top box, so they'd already eaten all the stores out of the bottom box. So, and you can see the mortality rate difference, right? Look at the number of dead bees there. Compare it to here, and compare it to there. So this hive is struggling. We're going to get some emergency fondant on there, and we'll get some fondant on the other hives as well. Got my trusty assistant Jackie here helping me out. And I hope you've had a great Christmas and a good New Year. And thanks for joining me at 4D Honeybee. Tower, what you doing? Okay, so I made this fondant here, and I do have another video on my channel on it. It's basically 3 cups of water and 1 tablespoon of vinegar. The vinegar is just to help prevent mold. And just hoping to spend as little time with the hive open as possible. So here, if you have a look at my setup, I've got insulation on the outer lid, which is moist, which is okay. I've got wood shavings here, and usually the top of it is moist because moist, warm air comes in through the hive, hits the lid, hits the cold air up top, condenses, falls back in, but then this catches it. And if you just dig down a little bit, you find that it's drier down below, and it is. So it's doing its job so far. So I'm going to try to have this off and the hive open as little as possible. I'm hoping that this is the benefit of the soft inner lids, which I'm going to review soon now that I've had a full year of use. There's some pluses and some minuses to it. But I'm hoping I can just peel the lid halfway open, put some fondant in that side, then peel it half open, put some fondant on the other side. I will always leave the center open so that the hot air can still come out. And that should be it for these bees. I expect them to be pretty quiet. Okay, so there's a little pile of dead bees here. A few days ago, this was jammed with very alive bees. So let's try and stick my camera in the front and see if there are any bees in this hive, or if they've all died in the last couple days. Let's see if we have bees in here. Okay, so it is a pretty small cluster. They're about halfway down. So let's get some food on these guys. They'll work their way up to grab it here. Oh, there's a live bee. With this fondant, I just try and make it thin enough that it'll fit in the space between the 2 boxes. and make sure that the boxes will then close properly. In case I've messed up, or in case just in the installation process here I leave the fondant too high and the box doesn't close properly, I bring some tape along to be able to tape it shut if there's a space. They'll close that space. This space will close on its own pretty soon, but we just don't want to get any cold in there.
And are these 2 trays for all 3 hives?
Yeah, correct. This will get this entire tray, and then we'll split the next one.
Because it's struggling.
You know, it's funny, like I've been doing this a few years. It's the first time that I thought of taking my iPhone and sticking it in the bottom of the hive to actually see and hear the bee activity in the winter. So if you haven't seen that before, it's because I haven't done it before. So that is one benefit of this soft lid, is just being able to open half of it at a time and affecting the temperature of the hive a little less than otherwise. Get the dregs in and then close it up. Kind of compact everything. Make sure that this hole doesn't get covered with your food, because the bees need that escape of hot air. The hot air is going to come up, hot moist air is going to come up through here and leave their space in the winter. Let's see how this top box goes. Okay, so it's pretty good. There is no space, I can tell, just in case. I'll give it a push down, and that's one hive fed. Now we're going to do the same for the other 2 hives, just because we're here. Might as well get some food in there, because at least we'll know we're not going to starve out this winter. Okay, so for this box, I'm only going to give them half the food on this one tray. And this is a single box, so the bees are very likely going to be right at the top of the box when I open that, when I remove the lid that has the shade. So let's see. Oh, mice. Jesus. Alright, well. How did the mouse get in that top lid? You can see where he's made his little home here. And see, I put shims to give a bit of space to let the air get out. I've never had a mouse move into the top box though. And I mean, that's not the worst thing that could happen. They could be all in here though. All in the wood chips.
It's definitely a nest right there. Just moving it around.
Which again, might not be a deal breaker for the bees, but certainly not something we want. So,
you want to get rid of that nest?
This part?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see what's happening in the hive. Now
This
this
one
one,
doesn't have a hole.
yeah, it's only this. So this hive I had to make before because when I fed them last time, the box wouldn't seal properly. So I had to put a lot of fondant on this box. And I do expect to see bees right at the top here. Let's see if that's the case. Yep, I hear them already. There they are. So now this hive had a bunch of fondant on it. Let's see if they've gotten at it. No, still got a ton there. So we're going to just put them right back in and not mess with them anymore. Okay, so that was the weakest hive going in, and they're still really good for numbers. I'll stick the phone in and have a look at them as well, but that hive does not need food. So you see what I mean about the space in between the hives, boxes here? That's because of the pile of fondant I put in. So I'm just going to tape it up just to prevent wind from getting in there. There's an entrance here, an upper entrance, which I'd like to leave open, so I'm going to cover it with tape and then remind me to poke it open. It's kind of light. We got all the fondant. Okay, so this one should be okay. It's still pretty heavy. It had a lot of honey. It had a good, at least 50 pounds, I figured, which is what I like to go into winter with. Mouse in this one. Okay, so this one I will feed for sure. No bees up top. Well, I guess I did feed that one.
There are these right there.
See them?
Yeah. They're moving.
Oh yeah, okay, there's the cluster right in here. Okay, put some food on there. So it looks like it did feed these ones. I should keep track of that stuff. They've taken a lot of the previous food, so let's feed them some more. I used to do a candy board, but then, yeah, there's another sting. Then I found that it was just more work for them to get to the actual food. So the best thing I found is to put the food right on top of their frames, because that way they don't have to break cluster. You don't want them needing to break cluster to get their food. So that's going to cost them energy and warmth, right? And really what it's all about here now is energy conservation for the bees. And of course that does tie into food availability and food readiness. Trying to make sure there's no big bumps in the food that I'm putting in. I want to make sure it's nice and flat. Alright, so we're a third of the way through winter, and the bees are looking okay. Doesn't mean they'll make it through the winter, but we're giving them the opportunity. And again, so I guess my best advice would be have some food ready for your bees. If you're an early beekeeper, as in a newbie beekeeper, get it? Make some of this fondant. It's really easy. Come on, buddy. Get back in there. Get back in. Get back in. Right here. Right here. Right there. Right there. Get in. Okay. Have some fondant ready, and if you ever get a day that's not too cool, like if there's not much of a wind and there's no precipitation, you can open bees in freezing cold temperatures. I just don't like to do it because it is disruptive, and if you can imagine what it does to the temperature of their hive, it's got to be massively disruptive. But when you get a day like today that comes up to, you know, 8-10 degrees Celsius, mid 60s, maybe touching 70, yeah, get out there and feed those bees in winter, because this is their tough time. From January, February, and March, really February and March is where a lot of hives lose if they're going to starve out. So,
Are you making the hole in the middle of the...
I already did, yeah.
You did? Okay. You do it inside the shavings as well?
no, it comes up through, the heat comes up through the shavings
Okay.
and the moisture, and it hits the top of the lid and condenses, and water falls
Got it.
back into
Okay.
the shavings, and the shavings catch it. You don't want the hole
In the
all
shavings.
the way through.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a good question. So just for shits and giggles, and just to see if I can get stung again, I'm going to stick the camera in in this hive as well, and see if they're alive. So I use this entrance reducer to obviously help with the heat, but also in the hopes of keeping the mice out. I've used different types of reducers in the winter, but the bees just don't like them. All right, here we go.
Tara's still looking for the mouse.